Ready? Okay, this is a regular meeting of the Town of New Canaan Police Commission, December 20th, 2023. Meeting in New Canaan's Town Hall, which was news to me. It shouldn't have been. So our first order of business is the review and approval of the minutes from our November 22nd meeting.
Yeah, I didn't have anything.
I didn't have anything either. Did you?
I did not.
Okay. Okay, second.
I,
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Minutes are approved. We also have the short minutes from our special session held on the 28th of November. For purposes of hiring officers Miro and Orlowski. Any comments to those minutes?
None.
none.
No, I mean, neither.
Be swearing them in tomorrow at 11:30 a.m.
Here in this room.
Here in this room?
I know
Big room?
it's the other big one.
Okay,
11:30.
Yes.
okay,
Motion to approve.
okay,
I
second.
second.
All in favor? All right, minutes are approved. All right, next order of business are the department monthly reports. Chief?
Sure. Budget reports. We are, the overtime lines are trending a little high. You'll see in a minute once we get to the staffing report why. But overall, we're 36.9% overall used so far. So we're on track with that, but we're gonna really take a hard look at why our overtime is trending high the past year or more. Certainly before budget cycle, and make sure we ask for the right amount and back it up for reasonings that they may be, and see if we can control and get those numbers down a little bit. But something that we're actively working on. Animal control and dog funds. Good news, I was informed by the budget office yesterday that those two funds are going to be combined now, so they won't be two separate funds. This is just more of a clerical thing, but those will be combined into one animal control item, that they're all on track as well. And as I said, the staffing report, you can see for the month of November, we worked 84% of the time with minimum shifts. So those minimum shifts just kill us, because it's just one sick call or something, and they don't necessarily mean that all of those shifts result in any kind of overtime, but it puts us on the razor's edge. So there's just no hope for any sick calls or anything like that. So it really hinders us and hits us with overtime. So we'll look at that and see what we can do anything for that. Certainly with the officers in the academy, that'll help. We've got 2 in the academy now. And we've got 2 SROs, 3 SROs. 2 officers were, Maury was on field training during November, is that correct? Or did she finish?
I think she's
She's on her own now.
I think she was still on field training in November.
part of it, but
Maybe part of the first part, so I think she just came off in the beginning of part of it, so. Hopefully things will start trending in the right direction.
so then she'll go to third shift.
Yeah, we're gonna,
Yeah, and then
we try to keep the newer officers in the daylight as much as possible, not
Especially-
especially on the night shift, because that tends to be a long sentence. Once they get there, they actually get a bid or get placed. They get stuck there for a little while, so we try to keep them fresh and keep them exposed.
well, plus they're new to town too. It's
Right.
tough to
Yeah, it's tough to get a
visualize the
feel.
town and
Yeah.
the roads when you're in
Yeah.
the dark all the time.
Monthly statistics, not a lot to report there, not a lot of anomalies. False alarms seem to be trending down a little bit. That's nice to see, from 810 last year to 600 this year to date. So that was a nice thing. Hopefully that will continue. Other than that, everything looks to be trending pretty normal year to year.
Yeah, I looked at it, I thought, yeah, is there less construction going on in town? Cause that's usually what sets off these false alarms.
Could be. Okay.
And like during COVID, I don't know, there were a lot of
Yeah,
a lot of home maintenance, a lot of stuff going on in people's homes.
yeah, that
And
might,
now that's sort of passed.
could be.
Uh,
We'll take it though.
okay, yeah.
The extra duty and false alarm aging reports, those are, nothing new to report on those. Well, false alarms seem to be pretty up to date, nobody's really in the rears too much, and extra duty, just the big contractors, but they're pretty good at paying us. So it's paid off. That's it.
Okay. First topic for discussion is the Main Street Old Norwalk Road stone wall. We've seen some emails and other information about. Tiger, are you going to speak to that?
I will, I'll do the sheet, or the sheet.
Yeah, we received an email from a resident. I don't believe lives in that area, but probably go through there some regularity. Expressing some concerns with the line of sight, particularly coming from Old Norwalk Road towards Main Street. He indicated that he felt that the stop bar was too far back in the intersection and should be moved forward. Due to sight lines, I went out and looked at it, Tiger went out and looked at it, Deputy Chief Captain went out and looked at it. And we all feel that the stop line is properly placed according to MUTCD standards and the overall road safety of the area. And if you go out there, you can see a large portion of the intersection from behind the stop bar. And then you can advance slowly into the intersection and have a clear view for the rest of the intersection. The reason being the stop bar is where it is located is because the standards want to allow for pedestrian traffic, although there's no crosswalk there going across that leg of the intersection. You do have to allow for pedestrians if they may be crossing, or bicyclists. So we can't have cars going right into the intersection, right to the edge of the intersection. You have to stop behind the stop bar, allow the cars to see any pedestrian traffic, then advance carefully and with caution into the intersection, which is how the statute is written. The stop sign statute reads that you are supposed to come to a complete stop behind the stop bar and then advance through the intersection cautiously and carefully, which if you do that, you should have no problem traversing that intersection. Tyler, do you have anything to add to that?
No, you did a great job. The only thing is, that as the chief mentioned, after you stop at the stop bar, you have a pretty good sight for 3 of the legs, 2 of the legs. The third leg, you can see some of it. Then as you proceed into the intersection, before you get into the intersection, so you're still behind the intersection line, which would be the line that you would carry from curb line to curb line. So you're behind that intersection line, and from behind that intersection line where you're in a safe position, you can see the stop bar at White Oak Shade. You can see the tire, you can see the stop sign, the stop bar, and any car that's stopped there. So you have a complete view of the intersection. And then as the chief mentioned, then you're directed, the DOT is actually what they teach drivers ed is you stop at the stop bar and then you proceed, you start to enter the intersection, but you proceed with caution. You wait for pedestrians to clear, cars to clear, and then you proceed into the intersection with caution. And that's basically, if you do that, it shouldn't be an issue. I believe that the cars beeping, if there's cars horns that are beeping there, it's because people are feeding off of White Oak Shade and Farm Road and not allowing someone from Main Street to take a left-hand turn onto Old Norwalk, or from Old Norwalk to enter the intersection. That the horn is more of a frustration horn versus a near miss, if you will.
Right.
But we looked at it again. The department looked at it, and I had my highway crews go out there as well, and we have no concern. I did speak to the town planner about the wall and the fence. The wall is in the town right away. It's been there for well over 2 decades. We have no concern with it, and we're not asking the residents remove it. And the fence, while it is a zoning violation in the fact that it starts at 4 feet, goes to 6 feet, it has a scallop design. So once it trends over the 4-foot line, it does become a zoning violation, but because the installation of the fence did not exacerbate the situation and actually probably helped it, since it contains the rhododendrons now behind the stone wall, since it didn't make it worse, planning and zoning has no, will not be enforcing that portion of the regulation. So they're letting the fence remain on the wall as is the DPW.
When did the fence go in?
Recent.
Right,
Yeah,
because it used to be the rhododendrons we used to crowd out there.
Correct.
I went through there today as well. I thought you could see a lot more. To the left.
Correct. With the rhododendrons removed, you can actually see much more of the intersection.
Right.
Much more white oak shape as those cars enter. It was several weeks ago that it was installed. I don't remember the date, but
Yeah, I went through there today. I said, this looks better than it has in the past, and I guess that's why the rhododendron. Okay,
it also came down to the fact that once the rhododendrons were cut, a lot of infiltration from headlights was traveling into the residents, onto their property. So this fence actually helps mitigate that. So that's one of the reasons why we don't want to pursue taking the fence down or removing the wall.
So that, yeah, those are the zoning issues, and we received another email today.
Yep.
From a second party, having concern with the zoning violation, but that's not our purview, it's not our area of authority anyway. Tiger, I believe, was speaking on behalf of planning and zoning, but whoever this is can address it at a zoning meeting if they wish further action, but I recommend that we take no action on this.
Okay, I don't think we need a vote, but I would ask, Chief, would you see that you gave a very good quick summary to us at the beginning there? Would someone provide that back to the two citizens in terms of the state law and how it works? And we looked at it and
We'll get that out tomorrow.
yeah, sure. Great. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tiger.
Thanks, Tiger. Next order of business is the completion of the probationary period for Officer Soma.
Yep, he's leaves his probation and seems to be working very well for us. Fine officer, yeah, he's seems to be happy. He's doing well.
Okay. Okay, any reason not to,
We see no reason why not to take him off the
okay,
probation
okay.
status.
Well, we're gonna vote to take Officer Soma off the probationary period.
Okay.
Can I get a motion to do that? Okay, second, a silent motion.
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay.
That's great.
Next order of business is college course approval for Captain Faringa. Just taking the capstone seminar. Can I get a motion to approve that?
Sure.
I second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Approved. We also have a college course approval request from Officer Vartuli. It's in our packet.
Mhm.
Can I get a motion to approve that?
Yes.
A
second.
second, okay, all in favor? All right, approved. Next order of business is the building renovation and training facility update.
So we moved into 39 Locust December 4th, well, over a period of several weeks there. And I have to say, without reservation, I don't think I could say it loudly enough, that Deputy Chief Walsh and Captain Faringa were instrumental with the move. They spent several long days in a row making sure that things went as smoothly as possible, and of course they didn't. And they were there for every hiccup, every situation that needed to be addressed, and we're right on top of it. Address it as quickly as possible, and they continue to do that today. We're still working out some bugs, but every day gets better. I think we're getting settled in
Yep.
there.
It's a
Things are
big,
improving.
big project.
It's a big move to move a police department across town,
Absolutely.
and it's a even bigger move to move 50 people
Yeah.
across town from their daily lives and their, their normal routines. So there was some resistance, some angst, some anxiety, but without these two guys, we wouldn't have been able to do it. There's no question. So they deserve a big thank you. But we are settled in there. Things just seem to be moving well. We got thrown a little bit of a curveball late in the game from the union as far as the holding facility and what they were comfortable.
How is that getting resolved, or is it getting resolved?
So it's gonna be costly, but we're gonna build a temporary holding facility at 39 Locust. So it will allow officers to process prisoners, and we can hold prisoners there for a short duration, and then when shifts stabilize, when we have enough people on hand, usually probably be a shift change, we can then transport the prisoners down to Norwalk and use that MOU with them, and they can hold them with it, or we can take the person to court. What this allows our officers to do is process prisoners, and then if something occurs in town while these two officers are involved with processing a prisoner, they could secure the prisoner and handle the emergency in town and be able to respond right away, rather than being in Norwalk. If two officers are down in Norwalk, it would take them a little bit amount of time to get back to town. And the union's concern was that, the shift was staffed at minimum, as we saw in monthly reports, is happening more often than not. With 5 officers working, 1 being a dispatcher, there's only 4 on the road. If 2 are in Norwalk processing a prisoner, that only leaves 2 officers in town to handle any response to any emergencies. And, the union wasn't comfortable with that. And we found out about it a little late in the game, and it wasn't communicated exactly how I would have hoped it would have been communicated to us. But, as I said to the building committee this week, I said, if they came to us 3 months ago with this concern, we certainly would have addressed it the way that we're addressing it now. So, this wasn't a luxury item. This wasn't a wish list thing. This was an operational concern that they had. So we owe it to these officers that are going to actually go out there and perform these functions. We owe it to them to listen to them and respond. So we did. I know it didn't make a lot of people happy, and it's going to cost us quite a bit. But
What is the estimate on cost?
About 250,000 to 300,000. So it is a significant expense, and it's delaying the project at South Avenue until we get this one built. So it's delaying Turner to get started there by about a month. So it's going to cost a lot, which, like I said, if they brought this to us 3 months ago, we would have incurred that cost and budgeted for it. But the bigger issue is it's slowing the project down by a month.
Yep.
So that's making a lot of people unhappy on the building committee, but we'll power through it. We'll figure out a way to get through it, and we'll move on. And a year from now, hopefully we won't even remember this.
Okay.
Well, they're in there now constructing it. They're
Yeah.
taking parts from Main Street or South Avenue, I'm sorry, to bring it over there, bits and pieces. Trying to piece it together as quickly as possible, but it just takes more time than any of us wanted to do.
They are moving quick though. They are already framed out the walls, and there's not a lot of long lead time items for repurposing from South Avenue. That would have been probably plumbing and those sorts of things. So we are repurposing what we can, and getting the other materials as quickly as possible. And it looks like they're progressing pretty quickly. So hopefully, if they can get the materials quicker rather than later, we can get this done in short time. So
Okay. All right. Any other update?
On the training facility, nothing yet.
Yeah.
Let me save that for executive session for a minute. Okay,
What's that?
I'll say that for executive
Okay.
session.
All right. Letters of appreciation.
we had a young man that Charlie that his family won an officer for the day. I believe it was from the combine event, the fundraiser, the Gracie Fund. fundraiser, I think was part of that, so he came in and spent a couple hours with us and got a tour of the now vacated police building, so you know, if they'll remember that someday, that he was one of the last ones. to
Get a tour before it
through
was
that
torn
building
down.
before it's gone, but so he had a fun time, I think.
Good, and you gave him pizza.
Yes.
Okay. Any other matters?
Don't have any.
All right, with that, I guess we'll go into executive session.
Mhm.
Get the motion to go in executive session.
Nice.
Okay, we've come out of executive session and with no further business to be discussed, we'll make a motion. I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you, everyone. Merry
Thank you.
Christmas, happy
Merry
holidays.
Christmas, yeah.
Thank you.